anyị na Chineke nna nke pụrụ ihe niile. Onye ọ bụ naanị ya na-azọpụta. Onye ọ bụ naanị ya bụ okwu ya niile bụ ihe na amen. Anyị wee na-asị ezi ebube dị ngọzi na n'ụtụtụ na ịja mma na nsọpụrụ site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi. Ise, ise, ise.
Welcome, my amazing viewers. Thank you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you are joining from. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you're notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you so much and remain blessed. If you are joining me from Africa, Asia, Europe, America, Australia, or any part of the world, I thank you very much for your contribution. Please, each time you watch my video, go to the comment section and put down your comments. That is
Let's have Chief Olabode George, a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, one of the founding fathers, and a member of the People's Democratic Party Board of Trustees. He joins us live from Lagos. Thank you so much, Chief Olabode George, and it's good to see you again. First and foremost, before we get deep into the matters of your party, your very good friend, the former governor of Lagos State, Bola Tinubu, visited the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo. Olusegun Obasanjo, the former president, who was a member of the PDP. I'm not sure that is still he's still a member of. He still has a membership of the PDP. But let me ask you: you are also a Yoruba leader, a chieftain of the PDP. Now you've seen these two men. They are meeting behind closed door. This means something politically, isn't it? What is your take on that?
You know, thank you for having me, Seun. Now, this pertinent question you are asking, it's very interesting. Now, Baba Obasanjo remains an enigma. He's an icon. And his doors must remain wide open to all Nigerians. But I can confidently tell you that where truth matters on issues of the nation, he will not bend any rules to make sure he tells the truth to power. I don't know what Bola is looking for or what his mission is, but I can tell you that he will be ready and willing to tell him his views on national issues. Fortunately, Bola belongs to the ruling party. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to look at the state of the country, which is being managed presently by the members of his own party, the APC. Take any sector in this country. Are we doing well? Is this nation not drifting very badly? Is it in terms of economics? Is it in terms of security? Is it in terms of employment? Take an example of what you just mentioned in your opening speech, that the universities are still on strike. 180-something days. What is the full academic year itself? The Minister of Education, despite the fact that the President gave him a marching order that this should be resolved within 2 weeks. Here we are, middle of August. Our boys are still at home. Our girls are still at home. These are the future leaders in this country. What is going on? If a party that is there and that is supposedly given powers to manage the resources of this nation for the benefit of the people cannot find a solution to this. I hope Nigerians are watching. I hope Nigerians are listening, because we have an opportunity to vent our minds in the next few months to decide who will manage this country. It is disgraceful. Whatever Bola is looking for in Baba's house, I have no idea. But I can tell you that where truth will be told, he will not mince his words to tell him. As a leader, as an icon, as a father, he must allow all kinds of characters to pay a visit to him, to listen to his words of wisdom, to listen to his sense of reasoning, and I have no qualms about that. So I wish him, Bola, the very best.
Let me just follow up on what you have said. You're one that has not hidden your, I will call it, you've spoken in some kind of disgust about your fear about Bola Tinubu becoming Nigeria's president. And for those who have criticized your statement, saying, oh, Jibode George is just scared of the capacity of Bola Tinubu and the fact that you cannot contest his pedigree as a leader in the Southwest, and of course, someone who had held sway as a governor, two-term governor in Lagos State. And the reason why you're worried about it and you are perhaps jittery, those are the words that are being used to describe your, perhaps your feeling towards Bola Tinubu, is that you think that Bola Tinubu will beat your party and your candidate, Silly, in the coming election.
You know, it is most interesting. What do you expect? What do you expect those who are lackeys on his party as members and the congregation that follow him like rats? What do you expect them to say? That's where they depend on their livelihood. That's where they gain their income. And so, you know, they are beclouded by the truth. You know, telling the truth to power honors all those who stand by the truth. I don't think we have enough time to x-ray the state of Lagos State. Is it the economic state, the financial state, the general security of lives and property, the well-being of millions of children who are just roaming about the whole street? Look, it has nothing to do with me personally, but I am concerned because I was born here. I am a bona fide Lagosian. We knew what Lagos was like. And Lagos remains the commercial nerve center, not only in Nigeria, but in the whole of West Africa. What has this fellow done to us? I have asked a very simple question, and none of them has been able to answer it. Who owns the Alpha Beta company? How much has the Alpha Beta company stolen from the coffers of our treasury in Lagos State? Now, who of those children, millions of them, milling around, local government by local government, what has been his input? What has he done to alleviate the pains of the people of the state? So when I listen to jokers talking, and he has done so much, two-term governor, and is there any governor that had been there that was not handpicked by him? Number one. Number two, you see the beauty of this process we are heading into now is the fact that we thank the government of the day for bringing and changing the procedure in the electoral process of our country, Nigeria. You know, after the election in Osun State, he was quick to discountenance and to disabuse, to say all kinds of things that is not working. Results are now being screamed. They are screamed perpetually, instantaneously, as the votes are there. They are no longer carrying ballot results sheets from one location by hand, where he had gotten so swollen that he manipulates the results with his own congregation and his colleagues. This time, the will of the people will be respected. The will of the people cannot be subjugated or subdued by any of his lackeys, the results will be affirmative. This is when you are now going to know whether he is really in charge of Lagos or not. Because all along we've been shouting manipulations of results from the polling stations to the collation centers, even results being hand carried from Lagos, from the remote areas of Nigeria to the collation center. That's archaic. And we have modernized. Nigeria is now joining other civilized countries in the world to say, yes, those who will be elected by the people of this country
George,
will be
before
genuine,
I get into
honest, because the voice of the people, will be respected and heard loud and clear. So forget about all this shenanigan of yesteryears and all the deceit and all the filthy things. Just one question
George,
that he needs to answer.
So, before I get into the
Who
internal
owns
issues
Alpha
in your
Beta?
party,
Do you
maybe
realize?
can help us
Now,
clarify
do
for
you
those who have also-
wait?
Yeah,
do you
for-
realize that today, outside the federal government, the greatest debtor is Lagos State government? Who owns the Alpha Beta? How much is Alpha Beta company being paid monthly? How much does he take home as part and parcel of the Alpha Beta? What is going on? Everybody is pretending that doesn't happen. And you now want to entrust the resources of this nation to a man like that, a first-class clown, who has mismanaged the resources of our people in
Chief
this
George, I
state.
don't know if you can hear me now.
Please.
I just wanted to throw this
It's
and
a
give you an
joke.
opportunity to
Let
clarify.
him answer
this
the
quickly.
question.
Maybe in 30 seconds if you can. Is
Yeah.
the fact that part of what criticism
Right.
against you on your comments on Bola Tinubu is the fact that for several years, as a leader of the PDP in Lagos, your party has tried without luck to defeat Bola Tinubu's camp. And perhaps saying, oh, this is a personal war by Bodejo against Bola Tinubu. You have an opportunity to clarify if this is a personal war between you and Bola Tinubu, and perhaps maybe a grievance that you have not been able to beat him in the governorship and the contest in Lagos State.
No, let me. Maybe you.
Please
I
go ahead,
hope.
sir.
Okay.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I have told you that the processes embarked upon since 1999 had been completely undemocratic, very archaic, very subjective, very, 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 very stupid. We had elections from polling stations, and people hand carry results sheets to collation center. You know what happens? Once we get to the collation center, they would make sure that our own observers were driven away. And he puts his own people there, they manipulate the results and tell you, go to the tribunal. But since the last 3 elections, the governorship election in Anambra, governorship election in Ekiti, the governorship election in Osun State, we have modernized. We have modernized. There is no longer any need for a charade. We are now back on the same platform as the civilized countries, developed countries in the world. Our results, you can even key into the results as they are streaming them electronically. No more interface of human manipulators. So if you keep saying he has won, he won that, let us wait. As long as the INEC remains above board now to do that, to make sure all the election results will be transmitted electronically, then you will see the voice of the people. You will see the actual commitment of Nigerians to the people they want. What we have been doing is such a charade, absolute garbage, rubbish. And I'm saying now we thank God that it is still the APC government that introduced it and made sure that it was approved. We tried. When Baba was there, Baba Obasanjo, Professor Iwu was the first who was trying to introduce the electronic transmission. But he failed. The members of the National Assembly at that time rejected it. But now we are modernized. Yeah. We have moved to another stage in life. And let us see what will happen when we do this next set of election. That's all I'm saying. I have absolutely no qualms, no quarrels with this guy. But all I know is that everything he has said he owns, or his name is this, his school is that, is a bundle of lies. It's a pity when you ask, simple question I've asked perpetually, who owns the Alpha Beta company? Lagos State today is the next state in debt analysis to the national government. After federal government debt portfolio, Lagos State is next. So what are we talking about? Jubilating? Who is going to pay?
Of the People's Democratic Party.
Who is going to pay?
I would like to know, as a leader of the party and someone who has a very huge stake, looking at the fact that you are a founding member of the party, are you worried about the state of affairs? The election has not even started, and the party doesn't seem to have itself together to focus on the election. This is perhaps one thing that has bothered some of the members of your party. Coming from Governor Ian Samwike, who says PDP is on a self-destructive path. And he went further to say a party that wants to win an election cannot on their own be causing problems for themselves. How much of a bother is this for you?
Absolutely. It is a major bother, not only for me. So it is not only a bother to me. It's a bother to a lot of the committed, the elders, members of the upper chamber of the party. It looks like some kind of devil has entered into the midst of our party. But let me tell you something. Our party, we have the capacity to resolve our crisis. Our party, we have enough experienced leaders. We have committed leaders. We have the loyal leaders and followers who will sit and be able to handle and resolve this crisis once and for all. Fortunately, we have about a month plus about a week, about 5 weeks from now, before we commence the campaign. All my appeal now is that Governor Wike should cool down. Presidential candidate Atiku should also cool down, because none of their ambition should be bigger and higher than the ambition of our party. We are appealing to both of them, because there is no organization anywhere in the world that will not have crisis, but the capacity and the ability to handle the resolution of such crisis will be a measure of how developed or reliable or respectable that organization is. If you say you are a member of an organization and you don't have crisis, then it is not an organization. But from my experience and from my commitment to this party, we have people And we have started to work on it. It is just one more hurdle to cross. And we will be ready like Freddy for the battle to the 2023 election. Yes, sometimes when these things happen, you wonder, is it mainly coming from our own people, or are there some other unseen hands trying to further expand or exacerbate the crisis so that we can mend ourselves? But let me assure the Nigerian electorate, we've been tested before. We have the capacity. We have the people. We have committed and experienced leaders who will tell all those groups to keep quiet, sit down, get into a room, lock the door, and we will surprise Nigerians that we will come out resolved, prepared to deliver our party to the electorate. So, I have no doubt in my mind. The process is ongoing now. There are crises. Yes, they were supposed to have met on a Monday. At that level of the governors and their, the lower level, they are still meeting. They are going to meet on this Friday. And after that, the Board of Trustees, which is the upper chamber, the people vested with the dictum that once there are crises within the party, either with the executive versus the legislative or with the party arm, the Board of Trustees should call a meeting and resolve it. And who are the members of the Board of Trustees? People who have been tested, people who have the experience, who are committed. They are no longer angling for position.
We are
so
not
you
done
can
yet.
look at anybody on their face and tell him the truth. Then
we will come
at the end of...
And we will wrap up with you on this conversation. Solution is perhaps some of your supporters and members are looking for. But what would that be? We'll come back to you and get your closing thoughts on some of these conversations. But we'll take a break, and everyone, and when we return, what was the mission of Bola Tinubu in Ogun State to visit former President Olusegun Obasanjo, one man that he is criticized? Mr. Fani Kaude, our former aviation minister, will be telling us more about that meeting and what it means for their party, APC. Stay with us, the Tinubu overtures and the consequences within the political structure of Nigeria. We'll be back, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. Welcome back to the conversation. Chief Olabode George, a founding member of the People's Democratic Party, a retired military officer and a member of the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party, has been talking with us from Lagos. Thank you so much, Chief George. Our closing question with you tonight is on the solution for the PDP in what has become a tough chew for your party to get out of, especially the rift that is now so blown up between the candidate and the governor of Rivers State. Now, there are those who are calling for the resignation, the ouster of Senator Yocha Ayu, and they're making reference to perhaps what we do not know exists. They say, in fact, there was a commitment that he will leave office should a northern candidate of the PDP emerge. Now, we're not very sure that that kind of document or that kind of agreement was made. But leave that aside. The fact that he said, and he made a commitment in an interview he granted to a newspaper, that he will, as a Democrat, step aside should the party want him to, if a northern candidate emerge from the party. Does this give you a kind of solution? Is this a solution? Because this is one of the grounds in which the weakest side allegedly are asking for a way forward for the party.
Yeah. Right. So, thank you. It's one of the major issues. You know, when the founding fathers designed this party, because remember, this is the first.
Thank you so much for your patience to watch from the beginning to the end. I hope you have learned something from the video you have just watched. The video you have just watched is to bring information to your doorstep and for educational purpose. It is not to demonize anybody. Let us watch continuously and see who can be able to make a sense out of every nonsense we are seeing. We must continue. We move. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they say. They will kill us. We will kill them. At the end of the day, Biafra is here. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please kindly subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so that you're notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you and remember blessed. Bye-bye. See you again.